Welcome to UnCeiling You, the podcast that empowers ambitious women to take radical responsibility and break through barriers. I'm Dr. Natalie Luke, your host. Before we dive in, take a moment to download this episode so you can listen anytime, anywhere. If you love what you hear, please share it with your friends or social media network. Your support helps us grow. For those of you ready to take your ambition even further, consider joining our membership community. Imagine what you could achieve with the right tools and network. Our membership unlocks early episodes, practical workshops, and direct connections with inspiring leaders. Head to the show notes to join, download, or share. Now, let's get started with unsealing your potential and watch the ripple effect unfold. Introducing Robyn Parrott, a trailblazer in women's leadership and an inspiring force in the realm of business strategy through the power of imagination. Robyn is a registered respiratory therapist and the visionary president of Sleep Solutions, Home Medical. With a career in home care that began in 1986, Robyn has dedicated her expertise to sleep therapy, pioneering solutions for both adults and children. Driven by the unmet need for specialized pediatric sleep apnea care, she founded Sleep Solutions, Home Medical, where her leadership empowers a dedicated team, including her two daughters, Katie and Kirsten, who play an integral role in the company's success. Robyn's work is fueled by a deep commitment to empowering women in leadership, a mission she fulfills both within her business and beyond. Outside of her professional achievements, Robyn enjoys playing tennis, exploring new destinations on family vacations, and spending time with her two dogs, Piper and Louie, who bring joy to both her family and her company as Sleep Solutions' beloved mascots. With that introduction, let's get started.
Hey, Robyn, I'm so happy that you can join us and tell us your story.
Good morning.
Good morning. You and I have been friends for a lot of years,
Yes.
playing tennis. I love your leadership style, and I also love your story, and I wanted to share it, actually learn more about it and share it with the rest of the world. So where I'm hoping that we can start is you are a CEO of a company that you've started. How did you come to decide to become a CEO? What was that story that caused you to transition from where you were to where you are today?
I could make this a really long story, but I won't. I started in respiratory therapy, graduated in 1983, and from there went directly to the hospitals, working in the respiratory departments, which is always interesting. Whenever you work in a hospital, you see a lot of different things. I've always wanted to help people. So worked in the hospital for about 3 years, and then the government did some major changes. They stopped paying for some services, things along that line. So I actually got bumped from days to midnights. I enjoyed midnights. It kind of fit my schedule, but then again, I was, 22 years old, so a different lifestyle way back then. At that point, I met my husband, and he was a day worker. So now you have a day worker and a midnight worker. We didn't really see too much of each other. So he said, honey, you got to do something. So I started looking around, and I found this position at a home medical equipment company that was kind of a split position. They hired me as a clinical manager for the respiratory department and have sales. So I would call on like the hospitals in downtown Detroit, pretty much any of the hospitals in the Southeast Michigan area. It was interesting. I really enjoyed it. Worked there for a few years, went to a bigger company. One of the hospitals hired me. They had a few things that didn't work out so well. They had put a patient in harm's way, and I had sat down and spoke with the CEO of that company, and his attitude was not a very good one. He said, we get hundreds of orders a day, and we're going to mess up on some of them. It's like, well, not on my watch. I handed in my pager. Yes, we had pagers, and my bag phone, and I told him I quit. I went home and told my husband, and he was like, you did what? But it's worked out then. I took a little sabbatical. I had a girlfriend who had some medical issues, so I helped her run her Tubby sub shop for 6 months. That was interesting. I enjoyed it. Something totally different. And then from there, Children's Hospital had asked if we would start a sleep lab for infants. So I opened up Michigan Sleep Consultants at the time with a fellow neurologist, and we worked together for about 3 years. During that time, I started dabbling in the home medical equipment. We had a little closet there, and we would have equipment there to set the patients up on equipment if they needed it. Moving fast forward, we sold the business to him, and that's when Sleep Solutions came to be. We found a little office space at 10 and Mound, and here we are 27 years later, going from 2 employees to almost 30 employees. So we have a branch in Whitmore Lake and also in Grand Rapids. So we're pretty much, southern part of Michigan. We're able to handle patients that are being discharged from hospitals or those that suffer from sleep apnea. It's been a roller coaster ride for sure.
Well, so the part that I really like is going back to when you turned in your pager, that you had a sense of values, like what you stood for and what was most important to you. When you think about all the different ways that you got to become CEO of the company, how did your values play into your decisions?
I prided myself on my word. So if I give you my word, I feel like that's golden. And I try not to make any promises I can't keep. I never talk badly about any other business that's out there because karma, it always comes back and gets you one way or another. But the values, at the time that I turned in my pager, we did have 2 little ones at home, my daughters, and my husband's working full time. At that time, he owned an auto repair shop. And he was like, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did this. Because, financially trying to raise 2 children can be a little bit challenging. I had to run with it. And I felt in my heart I was doing the right thing, not only for myself personally, but for my family. I'm not the type of person that goes in and sits there for 8 hours and gives you 8 hours of work. I'll be running circles for 8 hours. It's just in my blood. It's what I do. I'm very passionate at what I do.
What was his reaction like when you turned in? I mean, because that was a split. He probably didn't see it coming.
No, not at all. I mean, he knew because there were some other things that led up to this. It just wasn't the one situation. And I mean, the first company I worked at, there was probably 15 employees. I left there for a little bit and I went to a mom and pop home care company. They ended up going through a divorce and they wanted us to choose sides. I was only there about two years. And it's like, oh, no, we are not choosing sides. So I jumped in. I guess you could say I jumped into the fire to a very large hospital-based home medical equipment company whose reputation was absolutely in the gutter. I hung out for 5 years, maybe not quite 5, but I'm trying to fix it per se. But when you're working with a bureaucracy of that size, your company had to report to the hospital. There's so much red tape that you have to go through. And after the CEO told me we make hundreds of mistakes, I knew in my heart that I could do this and do this a whole lot better. I had experience from 3 previous home medical equipment companies of various sizes that I felt like I can do this. I can absolutely do this. And I was younger and I had the energy and I still had the passion, the will to say, we are going to make this work. And as a female, I am going to show them all I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Awesome. Okay. So what was the thing that you used, like your mission statement or the thing that you shared with your employees to be the force, to show people that you were going to be the force to be reckoned with?
I guess, when you call into wherever, what's your account number? I hate that. I always ask, what's your name? I want to know you by name, not by number. It's more of a personal stance that we take with our patients. We want to be close with them. We want to know a little bit about them. It's not just what do you need today, and I'm going to get you on the phone and get you off the phone as quickly as I can. So we try to pride ourselves on like individuality, I guess is the word I'm looking for. where if Natalie calls, we're going to say, hey, Natalie, how are you? How's your day? Not what do you need? Our phones are answered by live persons. I think we've all been there where you call and it's like, hit this prompt, hit that prompt, hit this prompt. Then you get disconnected and then you got to start all over. So your blood pressure goes through the roof or you're on hold forever. That's one thing I think that sets us aside from the rest of the companies that are like us in Michigan is you're going to get a live person and it's someone in my office. It's not a live person overseas that's answering our phones. It's actually, if you want to talk to Natalie, you call and say, I want to talk to Natalie, and they'll get you connected.
Well, that's fantastic. Let's talk about where your company's going 50 years from now.
Goodness. That's a great question, Natalie. Right now, I'm trying to set the company up so that my two daughters can take it over. They can buy me out. One works inside, one works outside. It's probably the best dynamic for the two of them. I only have the two girls. So Katie, our corporate manager, she's learning all the inside guts of the company, like the inventory and handling the employees and time off and policies and things like that. Kirsten is a natural sales rep. She went to Grand Valley State, graduated with criminal justice degree, and I told her she needed to be an attorney. She's like, no, Mom, I want to work for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 3.5 years of college that was paid for, and now you're going to come work for me, which is fine. And I'm like, well, why don't you go be an attorney or something? But she came in and jumped into our sales team. At the time, she reported to somebody because, she was still a little bit younger. She did take some sales courses, so she just became somebody to really watch. She knows her stuff inside and out. Does she get on the road and pound the pavement every single day? No. But that's not necessary from a sales point of view. Like you and I are talking right now, we can do these type of meetings with anybody. I mean, if we wanted to handle California, we could with Zoom meetings and things like that. But she's really done a great job bringing in the business, and now she is our sales manager. So she has 4 sales reps that are reporting to her that, work across the southern part of Michigan, keeping them busy and on task and training. So it's been a good challenge for her too.
And I love that, with your ambition, your drive, that you've now created a legacy for your family. So that's the thing that I love.
You always want to give more to your children than what you had as a child. And my husband and I have worked very, very hard to provide them with a very good life. And, owning a business and them working here, they have a lot of freedom that other, employees don't have. They can have their time off. Whatever it is, their phone is paid for.
Right.
There's just a lot of things that go along with owning a business.
What do you remember as being the biggest challenge in learnings for you as you were developing the company?
I think the biggest challenge is trying to juggle work and family. So finding how do you explain it? If we had a big project we were working on and then trying to keep working on it at night, like I'd wait till they go to bed so I could spend time with them. And then I'd jump right back into whatever project we were working on. I probably put in more hours than are necessary, but I think it's the passion that drives me to either assist my patients or assist my team, just to keep the passion going that, yes, we're here to stay. And if I work this hard, I hope you work almost as hard as I do.
Quick break, everyone. If you're enjoying this episode, remember to download it for offline listening and share it with your friends or network. Sharing helps us reach more ambitious listeners like you. Want to take your growth to the next level? Join our membership program for just a few dollars a month and gain exclusive benefits designed to support you. Early access to episodes, bonus content, and even a say in future topics. Don't just listen, be part of the journey.
What's holding women back from leadership? The answer might be in the broken rung. For every 100 men promoted to manager, only 72 women are promoted. The broken rung an invisible barrier keeping talented women from advancing to that first managerial role, widening the gender gap at the top. It's a harsh reality, driven by bias in promotion processes, but there's a way forward. Introducing UnCeiling Your Career, a powerful new book that's a blueprint for breaking through. This isn't just another career guide. It shows you how to leverage your strengths, choose strategic projects, and build the skills you need to reach new heights. In UnCeiling Your Career, you'll discover practical tools to conquer self-doubt, design a clear path forward, and network with people who uplift you. Ready to reach your unique destiny and redefine success? UnCeiling Your Career. Available now wherever you like to purchase books. Don't wait for permission to rise. Grab your copy today and start breaking through.
Great. So you said that you wanted to show those guys that you were forced to be reckoned with. Did you see any evidence that they were like, my gosh, we're a little scared?
I only know of one other female owner who has since retired, but you go to conferences and things along that line and, what do you do there? I said, well, I'm the owner. You're the owner. It's like a shocker. I think the biggest statement, COVID hit, and COVID was very, very difficult for us. When you look at the times when you could not go into a patient's home and we had to get creative as to how we're going to take care of our patients, teaching patients how to get on their phone for, FaceTime or something like that presented its own challenges. Dropping equipment off at patient's front door and then doing a FaceTime with them to explain how to use it. We didn't have to lay anybody off. We kept everybody busy, either working on side projects like a cleanup type thing. So that really was a saving grace. And then one of our manufacturers has a major recall going on. Philips Respironics in 2020 announced that the CPAP machine, the phone was disintegrating and they had to all be pulled from the market. And we are talking millions of machines. It really put us down a rabbit hole. They always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. All of our eggs were in the Philips Respironics basket. So we had to get very creative and come up with a different way that we were able to provide equipment. A new manufacturer had entered the market, and I have known one of the corporate people there for quite some time. He left Philips Respironics and went to this new manufacturer. And he said, Robyn, I got you. He said, I know how hard you work. I am going to make sure that your doors stay open. And he was a godsend. He saved our business. So we jumped from one manufacturer to another manufacturer, had to learn their ways, their equipment. And without this other manufacturer, we would not be in business. The sleep portion is probably 80% of our business. So there weren't very many options. There's not a lot of different manufacturers out there. There were some overseas manufacturers that jumped in to play the game, but their equipment was not comparable. We couldn't trust it. So we didn't want to buy a piece of equipment just to be able to give it to the patient to have it fail. We had to go with a good, reputable manufacturer. So this new manufacturer, we were allowed to do that. And we were able to carry on business. It was a difficult time because you couldn't go to the doctor. They couldn't do sleep studies. So our business numbers really plummeted, but we were able to hang on and we're still here today. Many businesses closed because of this recall or they sold. I've seen a lot of my smaller competitors that are no more. So it's been a challenging, I'd say last 5 years have been very, very challenging.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing when you talk about that is relationship is very important to you. Your word is very important to you. Those are, the values that really have sustained you to help you build a legacy along with your passion for the patients. Like they're your patients.
Yes.
They may be referred to you, but people trust you with them.
Yes.
I love it. So what kind of advice would you give to other women who are maybe in a situation where they're like, wait, the company I'm with is not really living up to my values? What would you say to them?
I guess first and foremost, you have to believe in yourself. And if their values don't align with your values, get out. there is somebody else out there, another company out there that you can align yourself with, and you can move forward with the values that you believe in. You just have to keep looking and find that perfect fit that is going to align with, what your needs and goals are.
All right. And part of that is really knowing what your goals are as well.
Yes.
Any advice on that one?
If you can dream it, you can do it. It's, the sky's the limit, really. And it's how hard you want to work, how much time you want to put into it. The more time you put into it, obviously, the higher you're going to go. Yeah, you can always take a break, slow down for a year, but then jump right back into it, and make sure that the team behind you is very supportive. If they don't belong on the bus, get them off the bus. And it's very difficult because you're dealing with, people's personalities, and you've got to think with empathy, not sympathy, and you've got to do what's best for the team, what's best, for the whole company. And I'm a big believer, they'll say, oh, so-and-so's not working out. Well, why are they on the bus? You pick them. And if you don't want them on the bus, get them off the bus and go find someone who has the same values that we have and we share. And they're out there, Natalie. Those people are out there. The very passionate, hardworking people are out there. You just have to take a little bit of time to find them.
There you go. I love it. I love your story. I love being around you. I love being on a member of your tennis team with you as a captain. You're a fantastic captain.
In the UnCeiling Zone, we've added a valuable new resource inspired by Robyn's powerful message on the importance of knowing and standing up for your values. Members can now access a video and worksheet designed to help them identify and connect with the values that mean the most to them. If you're already a member, head to the UnCeiling Zone to dive into this exercise. And if you haven't joined the UnCeiling Zone yet, now's a perfect time. Becoming a member gives you exclusive access to tools like this and much more to support you on your journey.
What's holding women back from leadership? The answer might be in the broken rung. For every 100 men promoted to manager, only 72 women are promoted. The broken rung, an invisible barrier keeping talented women from advancing to that first managerial role, widening the gender gap at the top. It's a harsh reality, driven by bias in promotion processes. But there's a way forward. Introducing UnCeiling Your Career, a powerful new book that's a blueprint for breaking through. This isn't just another career guide. It shows you how to leverage your strengths, choose strategic projects, and build the skills you need to reach new heights. In UnCeiling Your Career, you'll discover practical tools to conquer self-doubt, design a clear path forward, and network with people who uplift you. Ready to reach your unique destiny and redefine success? UnCeiling Your Career. Available now wherever you like to purchase books. Don't wait for permission to rise. Grab your copy today and start breaking through.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of UnCeiling You. If today's conversation inspired you, make sure to download this episode so you can revisit it anytime and subscribe to the show so you never miss a new episode. For those of you ready to take your ambition to the next level, I invite you to consider joining our membership community where you'll get exclusive bonus content, early access to episodes, and much more. Until next time, remember, it's time to take radical responsibility for your life and unseal your potential to watch the positive ripple effect unfold.